Awesome. Okay, well, thank you everyone for being here for our last special session. They saved the best for last, which is marine trades careers. We're so excited to introduce my buddy Mike. He's with Marine Max, and he'll tell you all about what he does and how he got there. But what I would like to tell you about him is that he is a well-esteemed marine trade member, and that he has hosted multiple on-the-job trainees for us throughout the years. And Mike is an excellent mentor in our marine industry, and we are really thankful for employers like Mike who invest in their employees, who are really intentional about bringing young people into the industry and equipping them for what they need, and making sure that they know that the world of the water is open to them, and that there are a lot of career paths that are available to them to follow. And Mike's going to tell us a bit about that. So thanks for being here.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you, Leah, for the lovely introduction. Hello to everyone. Thank you guys for inviting me to speak at this expo. I appreciate it. I'm especially thankful to everybody that stuck it out for the last speaker. Thank you very much. Hopefully you all learned a little something today from both Bart and Captain Todd, two really bright guys that offered some unique insight and access to their specific career fields. It's just a prime example of how wide and varied the marine industry is. Regardless of what your passion is or what you like to do, there's an avenue or a source for you to funnel that energy into. It's just one of the amazing things about this industry. It just consists of countless job opportunities and skill sets. It also comes with a wonderful variety of characters and casts, which kind of help make it a fun industry to work in as well. And really, that doesn't even account for the boaters themselves, which are its own unique, its unique ball of wax. It takes a little bit of training and ideally some exposure, and in a perfect world, both, to be successful in this industry. You really need to be solution oriented. You kind of have to not get too frustrated too quickly. It requires guys and gals that want to diagnose a situation, step back, look at it, and then come up with the best way to achieve a solution. And these boats vary wildly. Some repairs are simple, some repairs are complex, and you really want to have a solution oriented mindset that lets you embrace the concept of what you're trying to achieve. My previous yard, where I worked prior to now, consisted of women and men from 20 to 70, many different backgrounds and nationalities. It was truly a melting pot of personalities, and it helped to generate different ideas and kind of different concepts that just evolved from all of us working together. It allowed for some cross-pollination of ideas, and it really opened up new avenues for solutions that we wouldn't have had if we didn't have this melting pot of such a wide variety of backgrounds that bring their expertise and their skill sets to what we did. Also, as I mentioned, brought a unique set of characters with them that really ingratiated us all together. And I think Leah had the luxury of coming to our yard. She in fact interviewed a couple of them. As you well know, we've got some fun-loving guys there. And I think for the most part, this industry consists of that. We like to work hard, we appreciate what we do, and we like to have fun. When it comes to the customers, you really, it takes a wide variety of everybody to make this boat float. I've had customers that have invited me to go sailing and cruising in Puerto Rico and St. Lucia and stay on their boats in the Bahamas. And I've had customers that want to haggle with me over 50 cents on a $10,000 repair. It truly takes a wide variety of people to create the boating industry. But that's part of the fun of it. I do enjoy interacting with people, and I appreciate the individualities that come with this, this field. But for the most part, all the boaters are the same, regardless of their reason, be it fishing, skiing, boarding, just relaxing. The boat is the common denominator, and that's kind of where I come in. In my particular case, I didn't want to work on boats. I had no desire to be in this industry. I grew up in South County. I grew up boating all my life, been on the water, had a variety of boats that barely ran. excuse me. And I wasn't trying to, and I had a job, I wasn't trying to work in this field. It just, no matter how much I tried boating, it never worked out for me. The boat would run great at the pier. As soon as I get out in the water, it would die. Sometimes barely away from the slip. So boating was a love-hate relationship for me growing up. I loved and was addicted to the water, but so frustrated by the unreliability aspect of boating in general. And I certainly would have never imagined making a career out of such a frustrating endeavor. You know, the old Bayliner was not a good recruiter for the marine industry, if you will. However, knowing what I needed to know about how expensive it was to own a boat, I still kind of struggled with trying to fix things myself, and did the best I could to get on the water, which was marginal at best. Fast forward a couple years, I had left the area. I was working in Cincinnati, landlocked with the murky Ohio River as a backdrop, far cry from the Chesapeake Bay. In fact, it actually caught on fire one time while I was there, so I was like, this is crazy. But it's easy to say that I was a little less happy where I was located. And I didn't, at the time, connect the dots as to the reasons why. I had previously had stints in Charleston and Virginia and Philadelphia and Mobile, all these water towns which I naturally congregated to. And it wasn't until I was away from them that I realized the impact that that had on my psyche and my general well-being. I knew I had to make a change. I still didn't have the intent of working in the industry, but I knew I had to get back coastal and get back to doing some things in the areas that I loved. So I moved home, started my own business, which was fairly successful enough that I was able to get back into boating. And lo and behold, the same thing occurred to me. My Imperial was just reliable enough to get me hooked on boating again, but my tired Maricruiser 170, not so much. Quickly reminded me of weekends gone by, looking at my boat, cleaning it, and going nowhere. I knew I had to make a change, and luckily I had and still have some friends in the boating industry, and I called the dock master at Hartjes looking for a sweet, juicy discount. I said, come on, we went to high school together, you gotta give me a hookup. His idea was come get a part-time job, and then you'll get the employee discount. I thought that was a good idea. I said, okay, you know, I've got a little bit of free time. So I went and applied, and 3 weeks later, I was pretty much on the task to getting a discount, which is all I ever wanted. Well, lo and behold, I was only working 2 days a week, and I was enjoying my time there. And the manager there, Nancy, who hired me, just kept saying, hey, Mike, can you come in tomorrow? Can you stay late? Can you do a little more? And I enjoyed the atmosphere so much that I found myself working late, staying extra days, and doing all these things that I, once again, had no intention of doing. I had a full-time career with 7 other staff members that worked for me. But still, I couldn't pull myself away from the boatyard. There was something that was just so endearing about these individual boats that offered their own unique challenge. Each one was like its own puzzle that you had to diagnose and put together. And I really, really appreciated that challenge that it brought. It was not long before I was there full-time, and it was easily recognizable by the people I worked with that I truly enjoyed being there. Luckily, my GM, Nancy, recognized it as well, quickly fast-tracked me into some training, hooked me up with ABYC. I joined ABRA. She was already a vast supporter of the MTAM. We're also supporters of CAT South. So we were kind of networked into this training program, which allowed me to quickly get caught up to speed on some things that I was learning by exposure and the hard way, but still combine it with the ability to have access to all these skilled technicians who had over 100 years of cumulative experience that just knew how to do everything. I mean, they had the plans to the old school. So I had this really great luxury of both learning a new technique combined with a very well-rounded, salty skill set, if you will. Also sent me to all-grip school. I went to the landing school. I got to investigate into some really cool programs that are facilitating our industry just phenomenally. Those training programs that I mentioned offer technical degrees as well as college degrees in some cases, and placement for applicants. So it wasn't then until I realized exactly how big this industry was and what was out there for people that wanted to be involved in it and even exploit it to their benefit, if you will. Most of the fields that I started in were bottom related. I quickly went into fiberglass, I went into painting, I dabbled in mechanical, and it kind of gave me a very well-rounded feel of the boatyard. And as I mentioned, I grew to love it. I grew to appreciate all the moving parts that were involved. And it kind of reminded me of a choreographed dance, if you will, like a ballet. All guys come in, the mechanics do their part, the travel lift comes over, picks it up, blocks it, another team swoops in. As soon as they're done, another group of guys come in, and it is a well-oiled machine when it works perfectly. And there's something simplistically rewarding to me when I see it happen to its fullest. I guess my adaptation and understanding of the process, kind of as well as the respect for the people involved and other people that I grew to meet in the business, convinced me that this was going to be my full-time career. I realized that somehow I got suckered into boating and I loved it, and I couldn't get away, both on a personal level and now, as my career. And I knew I had to pursue it to its fullest and for my benefit, because I truly did love it. So I knew this was where I wanted to be. There was an opening for a service writer. I jumped at it. It offered another unique set of challenges, interacting with the customers more directly and finding out what their needs were, and kind of helped connect me to some of my old skill sets that I was using at previous jobs. And then when the position for service manager opened up, I jumped at it. It offered a complex view of the industry that involved profits and loss and inventory and management and personnel and staffing. And it introduced me to the next tier and level of the boatyard industry, and just reminded me once again how many levels and intricacies there are in this industry, from the top to the bottom, from the person that answers the phone to the person that signs the checks. There are just so many levels that are in this industry that are just wonderful. It worked out very well for me once again. It was an ideal situation for me. I had a great group of people that I worked with. I was proud of the place I worked for. They had been there since 1865. That means Abe Lincoln was actually president when this marina was started. So, I felt really honored to be part of this process, and knowing that how many guys did what I was doing there before me. Present day, this industry has offered me another wonderful set of challenges. As Leah mentioned, I have since left that establishment. I'm actually working for a company called Bluewater, and they are out of Hampton. We're opening a brand new facility in Annapolis. So I went from working for one of the oldest companies to perhaps the most newest, certainly in our state. It offers a brand new set of challenges. We're in a brand new building, brand new travel lift, brand new tools, brand new everything. The good news is that I have the chance to build my own team, start from scratch, which is one of the things that I really like to do. And I will make sure that I look for people that bring a set of skill set that I'm looking for, both young and old, experienced and inexperienced, but chock full of passion. I've realized that not everyone is going to look the same or talk the same or approach things the same, but they still have a lot to offer, and usually bring a set of ideas that I didn't, maybe didn't even think of. I'm one to say I don't need to use my idea, I just need the best idea. I like to think that's my idea, but that's not always the case. And I'm very open to anyone who brings a brand new idea or even a revised idea, to our roundtables. I think in my new case, the hiring of techs has proven to be challenging. The people that we need just aren't in an abundance out there, which is why I believe that this is a wonderful thing for our industry. We need more professionals. We need more people that want to make a career out of this. As I mentioned, I didn't make this a conscious career move. It was one that just kind of came around organically. But once again, it was a commitment that I knew I had to make. And I can only imagine if it would have been thrust in front of me at a younger age and I would have realized the opportunities that I would have had available to me. I think I would have perhaps pursued it sooner, knowing now what I know about it and how much I do love it. I'm going to tell a quick story. I'm not sure my time, but about 5 years ago, we had a young guy come to Hartsy's, just pulled up on a sailboat, and he was, salty looking, been traveling the bay and cruising, came up from Florida, been on the boat for a month and a half. And he was just going boatyard to boatyard, seeing what was out there. Talked to our dock master and said, I'm going to create a company and I'm going to connect boatyards. I've got this great idea. Gave the dock master his information, and he didn't look like he had any great ideas, I won't lie. It looked like he needed a shower. But needless to say, I'm moving out of my office. I see this sticky note and has this guy's information on it. And I say, I'm going to keep that. I get to my new location. I look up what he said he was going to do. Oh my gosh, there it is. He's created this website just like he said he would. I sent him an email. I said, I want to talk to you. Oh, I can't talk to you for 3 weeks. I'm booked solid. I thought, what's going on here? So lo and behold, this guy has created, he was from the computer industry, and he took his job, which is in the computer field, combined it with his passion, which was boating, and it now creates and manages apps for companies like MarineMax. In fact, he has built their app for the boating industry, working from Florida, combining what he was good at and what he liked with what was his passion and what he loved, which was boating. So I guess what I want to hammer home is, regardless of what you find your passion to be now or what you're good at, there is a chance that you can combine both and find a happy existence or career in this marine industry. As I mentioned, you don't have to be good at working on boats in general. The job lists at marinas and large marine companies read like a hospital or supply chain company. They've got HR and IT and accountants and marketing and research and development. The list goes on and on. So you don't have to be good at working on boats to work in the marine industry. But if you are, there are many people, myself included, who are looking to hire. So pay attention, follow the lead of these guys that they're trying to lay out for you at this expo, and know that you do not have to travel far to get a job if you're in this area. But much like the people that have preceded me at this expo, you can travel as far as you want to in this field. So hopefully you guys will stick with it. And my little expo inspired you a little bit to see things through for you. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And if you do want to work in this industry, we're at Bluewater and we're in Annapolis. Come see me and bring a resume.
Thanks, Mike. We had a quick question about service writer. Can you just do a one-sentence description of what a service writer does?
Sure, absolutely. So a service writer is basically a liaison to the customer. So when the customer calls and says, my boat's making a funny noise and it vibrates at a certain RPM, you're the person that greets them on the phone, offers them some comforting words, soothes them, lets them know that they'll be boating very soon and their weekends are going to be back to normal in the given future. You then coordinate that repair with the service tech. Sometimes there's another level of communication in between there, and that service writer will follow up with the work to make sure that the outcome that achieved is what is hopefully desired.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, Tammy, wrap us up.
All right, thank you. Hey, I did see in the chat too, there might be some folks out there looking for an internship this summer. So like you said, head on down to Bluewater with a good resume, not just any resume. Make sure it's looked over. That's my job, right? I have to put that plug in. Wow, what another great story. It's so cool to see the direction that your career has taken. A lot of us think we have to go in this straight, narrow line. We have to know in high school what we want to do. We're going to go this path. But you see a lot of curving, and I love your passion. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm happy to share it with you.
Awesome. All right, we have one more opportunity to head out to that exhibit hall floor. This is your last chance to connect with some of those folks that are out there. So make sure you click on that exhibit hall at the top of your the website and click on those different businesses. We will be back here at 2:20 with a picture of Tim Wilbrecht and hopefully a few words from him. He's having some internet connection issues down there in sunny Florida. See, the sun doesn't always make it the best. We have clouds and great internet. So come back at 2:20. We'll also have some opportunity for you to win a gift card. Thank you again, Mike. And we'll see everyone back here at 2:20. Take care.